Good evening. You're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq issues a royal decree. 24 investment agreements and 9 initiatives to develop the maritime and logistics sector are signed. And Tehran affirms its commitment to protecting its missile capabilities and considers the continued blockade of its ports a source of tension, while Pakistan renews its commitment to supporting peace talks between Iran and the United States. Welcome to our news centre. Those were the headlines, and now for the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq issued a Royal Decree number 50/2026 on establishing artificial intelligence special zone in the Governorate of Muscat. Article 1, a special economic zone shall be established in the Governorate of Muscat under the name Artificial Intelligence Special Zone on the land area demarcated in accordance with the layout attached to this decree. Article 2, the Board of Directors of the Public Authority for Special Economic Zones and Free Zones shall appoint the party responsible for the management, operation and development of the Artificial Intelligence Special Zone in coordination with the Ministry of Transport, Communications and Information Technology. Article 3, projects established in the Artificial Intelligence Special Zone shall be granted the incentives, privileges, exemptions and facilities prescribed in the aforementioned law on special economic zones and free zones. Article 4, this decree shall be published in the Official Gazette and shall come into force on the day following the date of its publication. Their Excellencies, the Ministers of Commerce and Industry and the heads of the Federations and Chambers of Commerce of the Gulf Cooperation Council countries, GCC, discussed cooperation during the ministerial meetings held via video conference. The meetings included the 70th session of the Trade Cooperation Committee, the 56th session of the Industrial Cooperation Committee, the 11th meeting of the Ministerial Committee for Standardization on Affairs, and the 14th consultative meeting of Their Excellencies the Ministers of Trade and Industry and the heads of federations and chambers of commerce of the GCC states. During the Trade Cooperation Committee meeting, Their Excellencies discussed a number of topics, including domestic and foreign trade, consumer protection, and updates to commercial laws in the GCC states, most notably the draft Gulf competition law. The meetings also addressed several topics related to the industrial sector, including developing localization standards in industrial fields. The Ministerial Committee for Standardization on Affairs of the GCC states discussed a number of topics and resolutions supporting the Gulf standardization process. His Excellency Anwar bin Hilal al-Jabri, Minister of Commerce, Industry and Investment Promotion, participated in the meetings. The Ministry of Transport, Communications and Information Technology has announced the completion of the merger between O-Bunkering and Marafi 2 services, a strategic move aimed at advancing the Sultanate of Oman's maritime and logistics sector.
The Sultanate of Oman is advancing its logistics sector as a key driver of growth, targeting its position as the second largest contributor to GDP by 2040. The sector continues to attract investment and strengthen supply chains, with positive indicators emerging. Oman's re-export market share has increased by 20%, while transport and storage contribute 5.4% to GDP. Investment in the sector has also risen by 46.6%.
Over the last weeks and months, the Port of Duqm has played a crucial role, like the other ports, to making sure that the supply chain has been uninterrupted in Oman and also serving the neighboring country and the rest of the GCC.
At the Logistics Day event, 10 companies were honored for best practices in 2026. A total of 24 investment agreements were announced, covering ports, airports, and logistics services, alongside the adoption of smart technologies. Among them, a memorandum of understanding valued at 3.5 million Omani riyals over 5 years. The event also marked the announcement of the merger of O Bunkering and Marafit Services, a strategic step seen as a key milestone in developing Oman's maritime and logistics sector.
The Sultanate of Oman made significant progress in the World Press Freedom Index published by Reporters Without Borders, climbing 7 places to reach 127th globally and 4th in the Arab world. This progress reflects efforts to develop the media environment through the modernization of legislation and the issuance of the media law and its implementing regulations, which promote freedom of opinion and expression within a framework of responsibility and respect for societal values. This index is one of the most prominent international standards that measure media freedom based on elements of pluralism, independence, the legal framework, and the safety of journalists. Moving internationally, as Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Mujtaba Khamenei said in a statement that his country will protect its nuclear and missile capabilities as national assets, even as Washington seeks to reach an agreement on these issues. Previously, U.S. President Donald Trump urged Iran to expedite an agreement that would end the war, and a White House official previously stated that Washington was reviewing the latest Iranian proposals submitted through Pakistani intermediaries. Meanwhile, a U.S. Department of Defense official estimated that the war with Iran since February the 28th has cost the United States more than $25 billion. Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian stated that the U.S. naval blockade imposed on Iranian ports will exacerbate instability in the region and will fail to achieve its objectives. Pezeshkian added that any attempt to impose a naval blockade or similar restrictions will violate international law is doomed to failure. He indicated that such measures constitute a source of tensions and a disruption of lasting stability in the region. The United States imposed a naval blockade on Iranian ports starting April 13th, just days after a ceasefire went into effect in the Middle East. For his part, Pakistani Ministry of Foreign Affairs spokesperson Tahir Hussein Andarabi affirmed his country's commitment to supporting peace talks between Iran and the United States in order to reach a settlement to the crisis. Hezbollah has released videos that it said show drone attacks against Israeli troops in southern Lebanon. The militant group claimed one of the videos shows an attack in Taiba village against a group of soldiers, followed by another drone attack during evacuation of injured Israeli militaries. UN spokesperson Stefan Dujarric said in a press briefing that the humanitarian situation in Lebanon continues to be fragile and volatile. Dujarric said that displacements are disproportionately affecting women and children, adding that the risks of gender-based violence remains high. Dujarric reported that the sharp escalation in violence has reversed recent food security gains and pushed the country back into crisis, with 1.24 million people expected to face food insecurity levels classified as crisis. Footage released by Iranian state TV claimed to show ships anchored in the Strait of Hormuz today. It comes as the price of Brent crude oil surged to around $123 per barrel early today as stalled US-Iran talks raised doubts over the reopening of the strait and a permanent end to the Iran war. The US has continued its blockade of Iranian ports while the Strait of Hormuz is closed, pushing oil prices even higher. President Donald Trump doused hopes for a quick end to the conflict. Iran's closure of the strait has put pressure on both sides and impacted the world economy, pushing up prices for food, fuel and other products made from petroleum. Frustration is mounting as dozens of nations this week repeated calls to open this critical waterway for both humanitarian and economic relief. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen warned of soaring energy costs in the European Union due to the conflict in the Middle East, urging member states to learn from the lessons of previous energy crises. She told members of the European Parliament that the EU's fossil fuel import bill has risen by more than $31.6 billion in just 60 days of conflict. She stressed the need to reduce reliance on imported fossil fuels and to strengthen affordable, locally produced clean energy supplies. Activists sailing on dozens of boats attempting to break Israel's maritime blockade of the Gaza Strip to deliver humanitarian aid says Israeli forces intercepted them overnight Wednesday to Thursday, detaining the crews while the flotilla was sailing near the southern Greek island of Crete. The global Samud flotilla set sail earlier this month from Barcelona. Organizers have said more than 70 boats and 1,000 people from around the world would be participating, with more vessels joining the original boats as the flotilla sailed east across the Mediterranean. Their attempt comes less than a year after Israeli authorities foiled another effort by the activist group to reach Gaza. The distance is about 1,000 kilometers from Gaza. Israel's foreign ministry said in a post on X that it was taking about 175 activists from more than 20 boats in the flotilla to Israel. A dialogue session titled Opportunities, Challenges and the Impact of SMEs in the Tourism Sector was organized by Riyadh locally in cooperation with the Ministry of Heritage and Tourism, with the participation of several entrepreneurs and those interested in the tourism sector. The session seeks to achieve several objectives, most notably continuing the approach of partnership and integration between SMEs and the relevant entities, improving the business environment and its attractiveness to SMEs, contributing to the development of policies that support the SMEs sector, and exploring promising economic opportunities in the tourism sector. This initiative stems from a commitment to empowering entrepreneurs and enhancing the contribution of SMEs to supporting the national economy and achieving the goals of Oman Vision 2040. The Municipal Council of North Al-Sharqiyya Governorate has discussed plans to introduce new residential layouts across several wilayas in the Governorate. The Council also reviewed a number of requests linked to investment projects, including the allocation of land for an agricultural development, in addition to proposed sites for material storage and service plans supporting economic activities. Meanwhile, members examined recommendations from standing committees and addressed key service issues, including the management of wadi routes and their impact on road networks, efforts aimed at enhancing infrastructure and reducing environmental risks. Oman has secured the right to host the IWA Water Loss Conference of 2028, becoming the first country in the Middle East to hold this major global event. This achievement highlights a growing international trust in Oman's expertise in water management and its innovative technology-driven approach. Organized by the International Water Association, the conference brings together global experts to tackle water loss challenges and share advanced solutions. Oman's selection reflects major progress in its water sector, including the use of artificial intelligence, smart systems, and pre-directive analytics to improve efficiency. According to Nama Water Services CEO Qais Az-Zakwani, hosting the event is a key milestone that will strengthen partnerships, promote knowledge exchange, and showcase Oman's achievements in sustainable water management. The country also has already reduced water loss significantly and continues to invest in infrastructure and innovation, positioning itself as a regional leader in shaping the future of global water management. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's news bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq issues a royal decree. 24 investment agreements and 9 initiatives to develop the maritime and logistics sectors assigned. And finally, Tehran affirms its commitment to protecting its missile capabilities and considers the continued blockade of its port a source of tension. Meanwhile, Pakistan renews its commitment to supporting peace talks between Iran and the United States. With that, we do come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it is good night and stay safe.